Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Are you a traveller who is coming to visit the UK? Or are you a student who's coming to study here? Or is this the first time you've thought about getting a mobile phone and you're wondering what SIM card to get? In this video I'm going to look at a selection of SIM cards that are available here in the UK and go through how you can go about getting them. I've now had a mobile phone for over 30 years now. From the days which our older viewers might be able to remember, when we had networks like Orange, One-to-One, T-Mobile, and I've had SIM cards from all of these networks over the years at one time or another. I'll be sharing my own experience with you and going through some of the essential points you need to consider when deciding which network provider to go for. Please note that I'm not a mobile phone expert and you must check network providers' websites for the latest information and really read the terms and conditions before you sign up to anything, even if it's a pay-as-you-go plan. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes, but hopefully I'll give you some information that will help you make an informed decision, or at least where to start. For this video I'm going to be focusing on plans in which you have no commitment or contract, known as pay-as-you-go. In some parts of the world they're also referred to as prepaid plans. Typically they'll only allow you to make a phone call or use data once you've signed up or put some credit onto an account, although some may come with a small data allowance to let you get started basically. As a traveller to the UK and for a student who's starting studying for the first time, there's lots of benefits to initially choosing a prepaid or a pay-as-you-go plan. Some networks will even refer to these plans as bundles, and they include a calling allowance in terms of mobile phone calls, texting allowance, and also some kind of data allowance, and typically they'll ask about 30 days before you need to go and top up again. You can get a SIM card without purchasing a bundle, but this is usually a very costly way of making calls and using data. In the UK there's no need to give your passport details or provide any identification documents or fingerprints when you access a SIM card. You can even pick one up in the supermarket, off the shelf, add some credit at the checkout, which can be done in cash, and you're ready to go. Quite often you don't even need to give your name. I'm going to show you some photos of SIM cards that you can purchase in shops off the shelf. You usually have to pay a fee, usually around £1, to take the pack home if you decide not to top it up there and then. You can also get SIM cards through the post from the providers directly, and these are usually free of charge, and I'll show you in the video how to go about doing this. If you're applying to university in the UK through UCAS, I have known them to send SIM cards through the post to applicants. Here are some examples of something that some of my friends' children who are about to apply to university have got through the post. So this is from a company called Voxy, and this is another company called GiftGaff, and as you can see, they have this one at least has got special promotions on for students. However, some pay-as-you-go plans will give you extra perks or more data or a discount on their subscription or the price if you register a credit or a debit card with them when you sign up, and also give your personal details. However, be careful if what you sign up for, because some providers by default will set you up for an automatic top-up credit every month. So only really do this if this is what you want, and be careful of these perks, which often expire after a month or two. And I'll show you some of these as we go through the websites. Prepaid plans are flexible, so you can move between providers and change plans frequently. This is useful, for example, if you've got a problem with your current provider at your campus. For example, you notice that your reception isn't very good, or there's other problems with data speeds, etc., in the location where you're studying, and in that case, it's very easy just to switch to a different one. In the UK, you can also usually take your number with you when you move between providers, and this is called porting your number, and it's quite simple. It's done by text message. And I'll put links in the description down below on guides on how to do this. Although prepaid plans don't usually involve any kind of contract, if you do switch plans, you may lose any credit that you've left on your current plan if you change too early. Typically, most pay-as-you-go plans, most pay-as-you-go bundles last a month before you need to top up them again. SIM cards can expire if you don't use them for a certain period of time, and credit can also expire, and you'll need to check this with your network provider when you sign up. However, there are genuine fully pay-as-you-go plans available if you are planning to only very rarely use your phone without any specific bundles. These plans tend to be helpful for people who rarely need to use a mobile phone or use any data, or perhaps are only using it for emergencies. On these plans, your credit will only get used up if you make a chargeable call, or perhaps send a text message or use any data. It's also possible to get a data-only pay-as-you-go SIM if you don't need to make any phone calls or text at all, but for this video, I'm really looking at bundles with a calling allowance and data. One thing to bear in mind, don't confuse the terms SIM only and pay monthly SIM with prepaid pay-as-you-go SIM. SIM only can refer to a contract post-paid plan, and if you sign up for that, it's going to be tying you up for an extended period and can involve significant financial penalties if you try and leave early. I'm going to be looking at these terms in the video as I come across them, as there doesn't seem to be any particular standard for naming these type of plans between the network providers. If you already have a mobile phone, it might be simply a matter of swapping your new SIM card with your old one, but you might need to unlock your old phone if it's tied to your mobile network before it will allow you to use a SIM card from a new network. I mean, the simplest way of finding out whether your mobile phone is locked to a particular network is try and put a SIM card in from a different networking and see if it allows you to, or if it pops up any error messages. Before we go on to the networks in the UK, you might be asking how many data or how much data and how many minutes do I need every month. Most pay-as-you-go SIM cards offer monthly bundles, and most of them nowadays include free unlimited UK minutes and text. In the UK, the general principle is that the person who's making the phone call is the one that pays for it, so all incoming phone calls should be free. With regards to data, most hotels and campuses have Wi-Fi nowadays. There's usually no restrictions in the UK concerning social media such as WhatsApp and FaceTime calls, either using audio or video. So I personally don't bother with any international calling bundles. However, you may find that the university halls and university campus might restrict the speed or block access altogether to certain apps or at certain times. So this might restrict your use of the campus internet. I'd usually recommend you go for initially 20 gigabyte monthly as a trial and see how much you use, and then you can check it from there. There are 4 mobile network providers in the UK at the time of making this video. They are called EE, Vodafone, 3 and O2. First mobile provider I'm going to be looking for is called EE. Now EE used to stand for everything everywhere. Here's a photo of a typical EE shop on the high street. As you can see, it's common in the UK to have special offers in the window, although these are usually typically aimed at customers willing to sign up for extended long-term contracts, usually for at least 12 months. You can also see the BT logo here, as BT owns EE. If you're a UK resident and have a BT landline or BT broadband at home, you should be able to get discounts on an EE mobile plan, but this will unlikely be on a pay-as-you-go SIM. Alright, so let's have a look at some EE plans. This is their website at ee.co.uk. If you scroll down, their website boldly claims that they are an unbeatable network. We're the UK's best network, fastest and most reliable connection and coverage in the most places. In my experience of using EE, I'm currently a subscriber. That statement does hold quite a bit of accuracy. My first mobile phone plan several years ago was with a mobile network called Orange back in the 90s, and through mergers they have become what is now EE. Network coverage with EE has always been excellent for me. Voice quality has always been good. I've also noticed that the voice quality can improve if you use something called Wi-Fi calling with EE. Also, if it's supported by your handset. Data connection was also good. So yes, I can personally recommend them. And I've said before, I'm a subscriber. But you should always try any new SIM card out first where you'll be living, traveling or studying to see what coverage and speeds are like for you. Mobile phones, just by the way they are, coverage and signal and speeds vary from location to location. Let's carry on having a look at the website. It's not straightforward from here to find pay-as-you-go plans, and there doesn't seem to be any direct link to them on the main page. What you'd have to do is select here, menu, select mobile, and then SIM only. There, yeah. Now, however, as I mentioned earlier, pay monthly SIM only on EE is actually a contract postpaid plan. To get to the pay-as-you-go plans, you've got to scroll down, and here it is here, pay-as-you-go SIM. There is actually a direct link to this page, which I'll put in the description below. It'll save you having to kind of go around these kind of several links to get to it. So here you go. Here's the subscription packs. Here's a selection of plans that can be booked online at present, and there is a promotion on data at the moment. Note that there is a capped download speed here, which is across all of their plans, and there also appears to be discounts if you subscribe regularly. This usually means that you've got to give your credit card details, and there's a regular top-up every month which is taken automatically for that particular plan. As I said, if you're a student, this might be okay if you're staying here for a reasonable period of time in the UK. But if you're a tourist only here for a week or two, then obviously you don't need to bother with subscribe to save. There's also something called Wi-Fi coverage boost, which lets you use Wi-Fi hotspots from BT all around the country, and you can look at BT's website to see where they are and how to go about doing that. You can actually order, you can click here, and you can actually, it does let you order up to 2 SIM cards free of charge, delivered to a UK address, which can also be your hall of residence or at the hotel if you're staying in a hotel. But actually do get their permission first before you start sending SIM cards to an address that doesn't belong to you. If we look at this again, EE pay-as-you-go plans do appear to be more expensive than some of the other providers, but as I've mentioned previously, my experience is that this network is rock solid. So let's go back to our original criteria where we wanted 20 gigs of data. So they've got a £10 subscription pack, which does give this as a promotion, but it only gives you 500 minutes of telephone calls. Is 500 minutes enough for you? It probably is, I think. 500 minutes is several hours. Do you really need unlimited minutes? Something to think about. The next one up, it gives you 50 gigs of data and unlimited minutes. So really, if the minutes is something that you're gonna really need, then you've got no choice but to go for this the next one up, which is £15 a month. Yeah, so that's EE. They can be, in my experience, more expensive than other networks, but as I've said, the network itself is rock solid. Now, I do know EE do offer 5G, but this is not available where I live. I can't see 5G being mentioned on any of these things here, but I have seen it advertised elsewhere, so that's just something to clarify. To be honest with you, if they're capping your speed at 25 megabits per second, do you really need 5G? Because 5G is more of a benefit if you need fast download speed, basically. I know EE do offer 5G, but it's not available where I live at the moment in the rural countryside. I'm going to do a speed test and see the 4G performance. This I'm going to be doing in a busy shopping centre on a Saturday evening, so there should be at least some elements of congestion in this. So as you can see, the download speeds seem to be excellent. Upload speeds are restricted, but you'll find that with a lot of UK networks that is the case. As I say, this is in a busy shopping centre. There's an element of congestion here. It is common in the UK for upload speeds to be restricted in some way or another. Here is my summary of my findings and my own personal experience with EE. Now, EE has excellent coverage. This is my experience travelling up and down the UK. They've also got excellent voice quality, which actually does appear to improve if you use Wi-Fi calling. The network itself is rock solid, and this has always been the case for several years. They do allow you to use BT Wi-Fi hotspots. A few downsides: the options for pay-as-you-go are limited in terms of the plans compared to some of the other providers. There is a download cap of 25 megabit on pay-as-you-go, and also there's no 5G apparently on pay-as-you-go, which is clearly not needed if this cap exists. Hopefully in future EE will get rid of some of these caps and these options will improve. Otherwise, I can definitely recommend this network. Thanks everyone for watching the video and getting to this stage. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shown you so far. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as this really does help it get out to more people. I'm going to record a second part to this video in which I'm going to review Vodafone 3 and O2 pay-as-you-go SIM cards. I'm also going to do some speed tests on the Vodafone network and also have a look at some supermarket options. And following all this, I'm going to give you a conclusion of which networks I would recommend and which SIM card I would recommend to start off with if you are a student or perhaps a tourist coming to the UK. So thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks.